Happy New Year. Now, if you're watching this video, that means you're already in 2021. And 2020 was a year that was filled with a lot of negative events, but the fact that we're seeing 2021, we all have to be so grateful about it. I'm grateful about 2021 myself, and I have positive hopes about 2021. And now, with no much further ado, I'm going to show you guys how I made this video. Welcome back, guys. In the video before the breaker, you'll notice that the video was playing in real time, then from real time it progressively went to slow motion, and from slow motion it went back to real time. And that's what we have in the bag for today's tutorial, which is called speed ramping. When I started editing as a rookie, I used to try to do speed ramping, but in a very unprofessional manner. Unprofessional manner in the sense that I'll play the video real time, then I'll cut, then the part I want to slow-mo, I'll stretch it to slow motion and I'll join it together. So when I play back, it's going to be fast, then it cut slow motion. It never looked so professional because the cut was just too abrupt. It wasn't seamless or organic. With so much experiences working with and collaborating with other creators, I got to find out that Premiere Pro already had a solution to speed ramping within their software, and it's actually amazing. I got to figure out a solution within Premiere Pro that made the progression from real time to slow-mo seamless. And that's what we're going to figure out in today's tutorial. I fell in love with speed ramping from movies like Kingsman and Sherlock Holmes. You'll notice how those action scenes in Sherlock Holmes used to be so interesting, where somebody's trying to give a punch and it starts with a fast move, then seamlessly goes into a slow move. It used to be so, actually very, very, very fun to watch. Then I'll be watching Sherlock Holmes. Was it Sherlock Holmes or, I think Kingsman? Kingsman. I can remember those action scenes were so epic and engaging. It was very, very, very exciting to watch. And I used to, rewind over and over again just because I was so into those action scenes. Today, I'm going to show you how it's professionally done. To make this effect, you have to make sure your video was shot at a very high frame rate. My footage here on the timeline was shot at 120 FPS, that's frames per second. 60 FPS or 60 frames per second footages are also welcome, but the higher the frame rate, the better speed ramp. So let's get started. Make sure you keep the existing settings of your timeline, because Premiere Pro will change our sequence settings to a 120 FPS sequence if you click otherwise. We want our footage to look cinematic in the final results, so we would leave it at 24 FPS, which is actually our sequence settings. At the top corner of our clip, you'll find an FX button, which stands for effects. Click the button, come down to time remapping and select speed. You'll notice the clip on the timeline changes with a line in between. The line is our tool to manipulate the time of our clip. Now, I'm going to play back to find my favorite spots to start the speed ramp. I think I'm satisfied with this spot. Next, select the pen tool at the tool panel. This will help us select points and create time curves. Let me show you how it is done. As I click my favorite spot, you'll notice a line pops up. This tells you that Premiere Pro is ready to speed ramp this footage. As you have noticed in the final video, you will see that the video started at real time, then it went to slow motion, then from slow motion, it progressively went down to real time again. And that's how we're going to create another point after this point. So what I'm trying to do is make the action in between the 2 points slow. So it starts in real time and ends in real time. Next, press V on your keyboard to activate your selection tool and drag the line in between the points to about 19%. Depending on how many frames your footage is. Do not overstretch its limits, because if you do, your footage will reject and that doesn't look good to watch. Let's play back. The points you created are actually double points and can be expanded on the clip. Expanding it on the timeline like I'm doing now will create a linear graph. This makes the speed rate change gradually. But we'll repeat the same process for the other side of the slow motion clip that we created before. Now, let's play back. Now you can see the difference. It looks more interesting to watch because it's now progressive. Like, it doesn't just, cut straight to slow motion. It actually goes gradually because we've expanded that time. Now, let's add a little bit of finesse to our linear graph. You will notice that when I click on one of the points, an anchor point appears in between. This tells us we can manipulate our time curves. So I'm going to select one side of the anchor point and create a curve to make the motion transition a little bit more organic. It's just like creating keyframe interpolations in animations. Let's repeat the same process for the other side. Now, let's play back. And that's how to apply speed ramps to your clips or your footages in Adobe Premiere Pro. I actually prefer working with speed ramps in Premiere Pro than in After Effects, because in After Effects it's kind of more complicated. I hope they bring you that same tool they have in Premiere Pro into future versions of After Effects. And that brings us to the end of today's tutorial. I hope you learned from this process, and I want to see what you guys are going to do with speed ramps for your, private practices. Don't forget to follow me on all social media platforms and subscribe, like my videos, share if you want to, and till I see you on the next one. Bye for now. Peace.